Before I share my experience of hunting cryptids, let me get one thing straight. Do not attempt to hunt these creatures without proper training and gear. Hello, whoever is reading this. My name is Sammy, and I hunt down cryptids for anyone who is willing to pay me a small fee. I can still remember my first hunt like it was yesterday. I've been a hunter for 5 years now, which is rare as is. I've hunted all types of monsters, and I've gotten lots of stories and advice to tell you. These stories aren't for the faint of heart, so proceed with the full intent of reading something disgusting. The first story I have to tell occurred 2 months ago. Something was killing campers up near the mountains near the Canadian border. So I grabbed my gear and headed over to check the area out and see if I could find out what had been picking them off. When I got there, I already smelled a rotting body, or, well, what was left of one. As I searched the area, I had already found out what had been picking these campers off. A Wendigo. I prepared a trap to lure this monster away from any unsuspecting campers. I dragged some dead bodies into a pile, then doused it with human blood I had gathered from one of my last hunts. Something I'd like to say about Wendigos is that they can't digest any of the food they eat, meaning that they puke up the remains of the meal in chunks that smelled awful. Hell, even thinking about it makes me want to puke up my last meal. Once I had finished making the pile, I climbed into a tree and waited. One thing about these monsters is that they take their fucking time going back to previous meals. About 1 hour later, I saw it eating from the pile. So I loaded up my weapon and I lit that fucker up with my incendiary rounds until it was lying on the floor, unable to move. I climbed down from the tree to put that fucking monster out of its misery. I walked up to place my gun near its head, and then I saw it. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw another one charging at me, so I shot it 15 times in the head. Once that one was taken care of, I finished off the first. I then dragged them both over a fire I'd started earlier, permanently setting them free from this curse. A thing about Wendigos is that they're practically immortal unless burnt into ash. This process takes a while, so the best thing you can do while waiting is to take notes of how the creatures react to anything, just in case you're ever hunting them again. One piece of advice I can give you about Wendigos is that if you ever find them stalking you or a friend, remember that they observe their next prey. So best thing to do is different things every day to confuse it, so you can get help from a hunter.